First one, it says assignment, display, and input. Okay, it says right here, text. Whenever there's an arrow, so it's A and then there's an arrow and then there's some expression here. What's really happening with this is A is a variable. It's taking on the value of whatever the expression is here. So if I did something like this, if I had it where there's an A and then there's an arrow here of 3, okay, A would print out on the screen. So if this is my code right here, this is the code, and then you run this code, it would just, on the screen, the only output would be A, and it would just be 3. So the output would be 3. So if I gave you a question and it said, based on the following code, if you ran this code, what would be outputted? You would have to say 3, okay? A is not going to be displayed because A is actually a variable and it takes on the value of 3. That's why there's that arrow there. A is now 3. Now display is the next thing right underneath it, right here. This is display expression. You can just display anything there, and that's what's going to happen when you run it. It's just going to output that 3. Now, it does say this over here, but I still, you want to keep this as social as possible, explaining this as much as possible. So that's why I'm explaining this. Right, this one right here, input. Now, what input is going to do is, say I did something like this instead. Say I said A is now input. Okay. Now what this is going to be is input is it's going to ask the user, and it kind of says that right here, accepts a value from the user. Okay, so if you made a code and it had an input there, it's basically going to pop up on the screen and say, what do you want the value for A to be? Okay, and then you can type it in, whatever you want to type in. So then say you typed in 4, and then you displayed this A variable, the output would be 4. Okay, so A input is, in this case, the expression that's going to be used for it, but then whenever it gets stored into A. So input is going to be asking the user. This is called hard coding. This is called input based from the user. Okay, so this is hard coded to 3. It's only going to be 3. But what if you wanted 4? What if you wanted 5? What if you wanted any other number? You can run the code and it's going to ask the user, hey bro, what value do you want? I want 4, cool, then it displays it. This is code and this is code. This would not be the code here because this is what the user is inputting.